Father, thank you for this day and for this wonderful season, Father, as we celebrate the birth of your son, Jesus. We ask you to lead, guide, and direct us in our proceedings. Stay with us in all things. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, moving forward, I want to welcome everybody. At this time, do we have any public comments? We don't? All right. Moving on to the announcements. Hit the high points here. The 24th and 25th, the city offices will be closed for observance of Christmas. We will be closed for New Year's Day as well. The next regular P&Z meeting will be January the 5th. We will have our next regular city council meeting at January the 8th. We have our hazardous waste pickup on January the 13th. And the first day to file for the May elections is January the 14th. So that would be my position, place 4 and 5. We have our second city council meeting on January 22nd. I'd also just like to say thank you to all the city staff who worked their butts off to make our Christmas event a great event. We had great turnout. We had a lot of people there. Public Works knocked it out of the park again with the lights. So I hope everybody got a chance to go down to the park. It's well lit up now. They did a great job with this. Thank you guys. Please, everybody. Thank you for working.
Santa in the neighborhood.
Yes, and then
Still my 18-year-old standing on the porch in her pajamas, waving. That's fabulous.
I want to thank the city staff for all you guys do to make it a great time. So, and I believe, Mr. Loftus, you have an announcement?
Yes, I do. At first, a comment and then the announcement. I was speaking with a gentleman I know, young man. I say young man, he was 35. He's 35. I've known him about 10 years, regarding some library information. And he commented, you know, young people don't read anymore. That really kind of hit me.
Yeah.
And said, hey, that's why we're here. And I just want to ask, we really need public participation, community participation in the library to keep this thing going. And we really need a couple of new board members. And so if you're interested in doing something like that, please contact me through the city. Thank you.
All right, and the last thing I'm going to say also is, I just want to say thank you to the council. Thank you guys for volunteering your time to serve this city. And I know we don't always agree on everything, but we're getting the work done, do what's right for the town. And I want to say thank you for all you guys do. All right. Does anybody else have any comments? Announcements? All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. Does anyone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. It's approved. Moving, I believe we have some staff reports today, ma'am.
Yes, sir. They're in the packet. If we have any questions, we're happy to field those. As we continue through this fiscal year, we are going to add a little bit more robust data to your financials. We have just submitted all of the 2024 information for the audit, and we are hot on the heels of the 25 audit to get all of that streamlined. As a matter of fact, next week, we're going to have one of the things council had approved as part of our departmental update. You had approved us to move to a new financial software that will really set us up for the future. They will be on site from Chicago next week to train the entire staff body on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on the complexities of the system and how to operate it. And it's going to be long, hard days where we have to do some serious thinking and some taking of notes, but it's going to be a great investment for Rome, and we're really excited. So thank you for that. And I think as we continue to tighten what we're doing on our financials and we continue to spread the information about how the money's being used on behalf of the community, I hope that that is a benefit to Rome.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna, change things up a bit on the, conduct of the meeting. We're gonna jump down to the regular agenda at this time. Item number A. We have an ordinance, 2025-09 to appoint our city council as the zoning board of adjustments.
Yes, sir. That is one of the items that Carmen and I had discussed in the previous months, and we've just had many things on the agenda up until now, but at current, we do not have enough volunteers to hardly fill our P and Z, and our parks board and the zoning board is very important. So when these variances come in, such as one that we need to hear this evening, we can get that moved forward timely for the applicant and the property owner. And talking to Mr. Atkins, this is something that the city council can serve in that role. So it'll be my recommendation that we appoint you all as the ZBA, and Carmen has prepared an ordinance to such end. And if Mr. Atkins has something to add, I'll yield the floor.
If you have any questions,
We skipped around. Where are we?
Yeah.
We're seven
Number
A.
7A, sorry.
Sorry.
this ordinance is basically going to appoint the council to serve as the board of adjustment. And once we get the ordinance passed and the mayor signs it, it will take effect. We'll take just a brief recess to let the mayor sign it. And then we're gonna reconvene back into session, and you guys will have your first hearing as a board of adjustment.
It may not be in that packet, Mrs. King, that was sent under separate cover.
I think I'm crazy.
Yeah, that was one that we were still working on when the packet was first published, so it was sent in separate.
That's okay.
So, but I promise the attorney has blessed that one, so.
It's really that simple. It's just, under state law, you're allowed to designate the council to serve or act as the board of adjustment.
Has anybody served on a board like this? I mean, I know about what you can do as far as taking P and Z and moving it into council, but has anybody had any experience like another city or something with this? It's just,
It's fairly common.
that's what I hear too. I just want to know if anybody here has had any experience doing such a thing. Taking over in council, taking over what P and Z does, because, usually well, my experience, they have a P and Z. And they have council, you present your things at council. I just wondered if anybody had any experience of doing that.
It's a reminder, you're not taking over the P and Z. P and Z continues to exist and will serve in that function. You're just taking over the basically adjudicative role that the Board of Adjustment has. You're gonna take it as the council.
Okay, I understand.
So anything that comes from the P and Z will come to the zoning board of adjustment, and then, no.
It'll still come to the council as it always has.
So what do we do in that capacity as the board of adjustments? Yeah.
You're gonna conduct a public hearing and look at a variance.
So for tonight's conversation, we have an applicant that's come in that needs to encroach on some of our setback on the backside of a lot. So that's a variance to that particular property, and that needs to be reviewed by a ZBA before it goes through the entirety of its process.
Okay, so that did not go to the P and Z, that goes to this board of adjustments. Okay.
That's correct.
Board of Adjustment, then P and Z? No, the council. Okay. Need to know basis. Need to know.
Separate
I'm fine.
files. And the P and Z primarily is gonna be dealing with your zoning issues. This is not a zoning change. You're not gonna be changing any of these. Are variances to our regulations, usually setback lines or things like that, that for some reason or another, the applicant needs us to make an exception to the rule, and we're authorized, and there are certain provisions that'll be explained to you in the hearing, I anticipate, as to why you can grant a variance. And
I think we should sponsor legislation, Carpet, to call that the variance board of adjustment.
Let's move on. All right, if there's, unless you have any other questions for this, I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-09 to establish the Rhome zoning board of adjustments. Make the city council the ZBA.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-09, appointing the city council to serve in the role as the zoning board of adjustments.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. At this time, it is now 6:23. I'm going to place the city council meeting in recess while we get this one.
Just for your signature.
For my signature. Ma'am?
Mayor's son.
Mhm.
That's right. We're just gonna reconvene the council as the board of adjustment. Did you say?
Yeah. All right, at this time, it is 6:23. I'm going to reconvene the city council as the zoning board of adjustments. And at this time, we will open up our public hearing to hear about item A, rezoning ordinance for 199 North Main.
I'm about to put it up, sir.
Thank you, Brett.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, is this in the packet?
Lost.
Oh, yes.
Which agenda item is it?
We're on number 6, item A.
Six. Yeah, that's what I.
The public hearing has to be conducted by the ZBA.
You can give some background if you want to, or you can go
Absolutely.
straight into the hearing.
So, this is a zoning variance that is heard by your ZBA. And, what we're looking at is, a 430 Old Mill, Road. And, that property, is,
Point of order, Steve.
yes, ma'am.
The mayor opened the public hearing for 199 first. He's going in order of the agenda.
Oh, okay, so there, you're not,
You're not in ZBA format, so we really need to go down to 6C, which is the zoning variance at 430 Old Mill. Not A, is that not correct?
No, he can go.
okay, I was my understanding that he convened the zoning board of adjustment.
Yes.
And so we're talking about 430 Old Mill. So we need
The
to
other
go
two
to.
have to fall under.
Just-
Got it.
just 6C.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
We will the ZBA will now have to hold a public hearing for zoning variance at 430 Old Mill at 6:25.
Okay, so
There we go.
Brooke, if you could go to that slide for me, please. To the one that says 430 Old Mill. So that's. It's at the end.
There we go.
Is this on the 190?
No, we need
No,
430.
430 Old Mill.
So keep going. So
Now,
there you go.
all we hear is variances.
All right, what about?
It's the first slide.
She clicked the right one, but the machine went back to a different
Click it
slide.
on the left.
There we go.
There we go. Leave it there.
Just leave it like that.
Right, we can just leave it like that. There we go. So what we're looking at is 430 Old Mill. This is a variance. They are in the process of going to be developing a 4,200 square foot retail building, and it's going to be facing South Main Street. And that's important in this variance, and I'll explain that here in a second. The property is zoned C commercial, and there are some individual parcels within that, but there is significant right of way on 3 sides of this development. And so that also is going to be very important. There's a gas easement parallel to Old Mill Road, and it appears to be contained solely within the right of way. Within the commercial zoning district, it requires a 10-foot rear yard setback, which is at the rear of this building. And since the building will be facing South Main Street, but the rear of the property is facing Old Mill Road. So the closest that the property approaches the property line is about 2 feet. So the building is not square to the property line. It is angled in order to make sure that the building fits, that there is appropriate number of parking spaces, that you have an appropriate fire lane that is 24 feet in width, that you have the access points that going to be to Aurora Lane as well, Aurora Street, as well as South Main and Old Mill Road. So the building will still remain approximately 43 feet from the surface of Old Mill Road, and it does not appear to encroach into the gas line easement. So what they're requesting is a variance to the setback distance for a commercial zoning district. The property lines are odd. It's a remnant of the original outlay of the town with very large right of way that is either owned by the city on the backside of this property, or by the state on the front side of this property. And so they have just that footprint in which they are able to move their structure around and make sure that they meet the other standards of the city in developing the piece of property. So if you vote in a positive manner for the variance, they're going to be able to allow to encroach to that rear property line from the required 10 feet of the building to sliding to 2 feet. Now, again, setback distances in cities and in zoning are in order to allow air, light, and space between buildings, that you don't have, buildings sitting on top of each other, that there's appropriate movement around buildings and for safety reasons and those kinds of things that you have as part of your setback distances. Obviously, within this piece of property that is set within a larger piece of property that is surrounded by right of way, there's a considerable amount of distance between the rear of this building and Old Mill Road. So there is typically, when you want to grant a variance, there needs to be something that is unusual about the piece of property. You don't just go grant a variance just because they're asking for one. There has to be a reason that is, there's a particular term and I'm failing at it tonight. But the ability of granting a variance is that there is a unusual condition of the property itself.
Unnecessary hardship.
An unnecessary hardship. Thank you, Carmen. I greatly appreciate that. So there is a hardship on this piece of property because the property lines itself are unusually sized to the land area that surrounds the development. Granting this variance would not negatively impact surrounding properties. It is not something that would cause hardship for another property, which is another test that your zoning board of adjustment needs to look at when granting variances. Is this going to be a problem in the future? I do not believe, as your professional staff looking at this, that this is going to be an issue for that. And so therefore, staff has looked through the process of your variances, and we recommend approval of this particular variance.
So the variance is actually for the southeast corner of the building, actually?
Yes, sir.
What
So
this would
you have a triangle basically of where it departs from 10 feet from the property line all the way to where it's the closest part is about 2 feet from the property line. So that small little area is your variance.
So what is depicted up here in this slide is the proposed building as it would stand.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So the orange is the building. The red line is your property boundary. And the red line with the arrow is just pointing to the area that it is encroaching.
We have such crazy right of ways in this town that I feel like 43 feet. You said 43 feet from the building to Old Mill Road, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the right of way. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I walk by this every day, except for today. I went to the dentist. And yeah, that setback from Old Mill Road of 25 feet is pretty wide, but again, the gas line's back there. And I was concerned you were wanting to go all the way to 10 feet from Old Mill Road, so that was my misunderstanding.
No, sorry. And again, it really has to do with how the original parcels were placed into the properties.
But to council's point, we do have a lot of interesting setbacks, variances, and lot lines within Rome. And a lot of that's going to do with just the age, antiquity of the city when these things were put in. Plus, this used to be residential, is my understanding. There used to be homes in this general area, and as people have vacated and or torn down structures, these folks have been working very hard for almost a year to get this laid out and something that is doable for the property owner to be able to develop, which would be of benefit to our city. And right in that area, one of the things that you'll see at the top where it says parcel boundary, it was really important to them to have access off Old Mill back onto Main Street because they're looking to put a coffee shop. And that's something I've heard from multiple folks that they'd love to have in our community. And I can tell you the hundreds of cars that go through there every day. I think that would be a really nice addition to what's available in Rome for our residents at this time.
All right, do we have any input from the general public at this time? Nothing heard, so unless we,
Before our steps away from the mic, I'm gonna go, our ordinance has 4 specific requirements that we have to reduce to writing as part of our ordinance. So I'm gonna indulge, if you don't mind, Mayor, I'm gonna read these 4 specific requirements so that we can get a specific answer, and then we'll record them in the minutes. And I think that will meet the requirements of our ordinance. So in order to grant a variance from the zoning regulations, the Board of Adjustment must make written findings that the variance creates undue hardship using the following criteria. So here's the first one. A, that literal enforcement of the controls will create an unnecessary hardship or practical difficulty in the development of the affected property. Would you agree that's the case?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
That the situation causing the hardship or difficulty is neither self-imposed nor generally affecting all or most properties in the same zoning district. We're pretty clear it wasn't self-imposed.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
That the relief sought will not injure the permitted use of adjacent conforming property.
That is correct, as stated.
And that the granting of a variance will be in harmony with the spirit and purpose of these regulations.
Absolutely. This is a commercial development and we're looking at the best way to develop the property.
Now, the council will be the one that actually has to make that finding. So, but you've got your recommendation of staff on those 4 items.
I'm sorry, did you say council or zoning board of adjustment?
I'm sorry, I did say council. Zoning Board of Adjustment, good catch. Well, be 3 strikes real quick.
Go ahead and make a motion if that's okay.
Well, they need to close the hearing.
Okay.
we're not there yet. Just bear with me. It is now 6:35. I'd like to close this meeting of the ZBA and the public hearing. And at this same time, I want to reconvene the city council meeting at 6:35. And at this time, we will move down to item number D under the regular agenda. Zoning variance at 430 Old Mill Road. We'll do it since we just finished talking about it. Do I?
I think we need to do it as the Board of Adjustment.
Can I make the motion, city council?
You're gonna-
Just a minute.
You're gonna close the hearing, but before you go back to council, the Board of Adjustment will actually make the motion
And vote.
to recommend the variance.
I stand corrected. So the public hearing being closed and as the ZBA, I'm open for a motion to approve the variance at 430 Old Mill Road.
On behalf of the city council as the ZBA, I move to approve a variance to section 25.c.4.e of the City of Rome zoning ordinance for allowing encroachment into the rear setback by a commercial development to be located at 430 Old Mill, Rome, Texas, within the C commercial zoning district.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you. Now, at this time, at 6:36, we will close the meeting of the zoning board of adjustment and reconvene as the Rome City Council.
Do we need a motion to adjourn the ZBA or are we good?
I think you're good. Based on the mayor's.
We're learning here.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to our, the public hearing portion of our meeting. At this time, we need to open the public hearing for the rezoning ordinance for 199 North Main Street.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a rezoning that was just heard by your Planning and Zoning Commission earlier this evening. The applicant owns parcel at 199 North Main Street. It's just over half an acre. There are two zoning districts on the piece of property. There is R retail that is along the frontage on North Main Street, and there's a small portion along Second Street that is zoned SF10. The applicant had asked for a commercial zoning district in order to redevelop the property. He had indicated a pediatric medical office would be appropriate. It also indicated that there may be also a potential for pet grooming and care and potential boarding. Those are kinds of things that we would look at as part of this process. But right now, he's just looking at consolidating the zoning. As from the public hearing and discussion with the Planning and Zoning Commission this evening, the applicant indicated that he would be fine with consolidating the entirety of the parcel to a retail zoning district and be operating under the more limited uses that are available within your retail zoning district. And if there are something else that may be allowed, we would come back in looking at changing your retail zoning district uses and just kind of updating your permitted use table. But currently, we're looking at just rezoning this parcel. And your Planning and Zoning Commission at their public hearing earlier this evening did recommend a vote to change the parcel from the SF10 and R to completely in your R zoning district. And so that is the request before you this evening, and the applicant concurs with that decision by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, thank you. And we are still within the public hearing portion. At this time, I'd like to take comments from the public if you have any input. Nothing heard? It is now 6:39. We'll close the public hearing for item number I on the 199 North Main Street. And we'll move now to item B. Open a public hearing for the specific use permit ordinance for 359 Denton Street for JPS Trucking, and it's now 6:39. Public hearing is now open.
Fred, if you could move the slides, please. Thank you. 359 Denton is a semi-truck sales and semi-trailer sales location within your commercial zoning district. It was originally issued a specific use permit by a previous owner in 2008, and the business opened in 2017 with a certificate of occupancy incorrectly labeling the property zoned as industrial. The property was subsequently sold, and the business and the business to a new owner. And at that time, as with the new ownership, a new certificate of occupancy was issued in 2020 with the correct zoning as commercial, but there was no specific use permit issued as to the new owner and business. So the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles needs legal clarity in order to make sure that the appropriate licensing is given to this current business and ownership. And so in order to do so, what we are requesting the council to consider is to issue a new specific use permit to the current business owner, to the current business name, and to make sure that the certificate of occupancy states that it is a SUP for truck sales or semi-truck sales and semi-trailer sales within the commercial zoning district. So those specific words need to be put onto the certificate of occupancy so that the business may operate, get its licensing appropriately. That licensing affects their ability to do business, as well as the appropriate language, their ability to refinance if they need to, and all sorts of things down the line. This is a bureaucratic kind of thing that we need to be in line with our partners in the state government. And so that is what staff is recommending approval of.
Thank you. At this time, are there any public comments regarding this issue? Nothing heard. It's 6:41. We'll now close the public hearing for the zoning for the specific use permit for 359 Denton Street. And at this time, we'll move back to our regular agenda. Item B, ordinance 2025-07, rezoning for 199 North Main Street.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is Mr. Cooks. He's given you an explanation as to what the applicant's looking for on 199 North Main Street. We did just have this conversation with the Planning and Zoning Commission prior to your city council meeting, and we clarified with the applicant that retail use for the entirety of that property would be beneficial to him as he's looking to rent out the building for a different type of tenant than what had been in it before, because part was retail, part was commercial.
So will you have to
Excuse
come,
me, residential. Phew,
Yeah.
so many terms this evening.
will you have to come back with a new ordinance for us? Will we just direct you to, if we go, okay, we want the retail, we want them to just change it straight to retail, but this says ordinance 2527 changing from retail and SF10 to commercial. Okay,
Carvin, is that something that we can do with meeting minutes, or do we need to put this on a consent agenda for January?
No, council will just need to make sure when you make the motion that you are making that change
for all
to
retail.
the document you have in front of you. And
Changing
then,
to all retail or changing to all commercial?
All retail, which is the recommendation from P and Z, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
and then, staff will make that change to the final document before it's submitted for signature.
Yeah, I made an observation on, part of this property, and it stems from our past in town and everything. But I noticed that, lot part 1, block 15, original town Rome, which is right there, the 199 North Main Street address. That particular lot was apparently in the past split in half, and right next door to it on Main Street, there's another property with the exact same legal description. I just want to make sure that's not going to cause an issue.
You'll see on your TV, this is a depiction of what Mr. Loftus is asking, and Mr. Cook can use that for reference.
Yeah, there is a survey that it was submitted to as part of the application, and so the way the ordinance is written is that it would apply only to those parcels that are identified in that survey.
Or in the red that you've got outlined here.
Yeah, and I see it outlined, but under Wise County's appraisal district, it shows the little segment on Main Street that is not within the red area, as having the same legal description. So I don't know if that's the issue. I just want to make sure we cross all.
So those, the surveyor did note that, but it is, they are two separate parcels.
Okay.
Effectively, we will be modifying the map, and the map will follow the new legal description.
I just trying to make sure.
Change the zone, and this will not control.
And one of the commissioner or council member, any redevelopment of this parcel, because it has been has not been used as a commercial. One of the things is that we want to have them to come a site plan before you, so that we can understand how the new use that comes in is going to be appropriately parked, is going to have appropriate landscaping, and it's going to be, a good part and contributor to the community. So there's going to be an opportunity for us to make sure that we can get appropriate constellation. Getting it together correctly.
Like I said, it's
Sorry.
really Christmas, and it's our last meeting of the year, and we've got a lot of stuff on this agenda.
Oh, you're good. Didn't mean to porky pig you on that one. I apologize.
I think you also mentioned earlier this evening, we'll likely have to replat to get all that together.
If there's going to be, if he is intending to have one structure across parcel lines that are going to meet the retail zoning district setback standards and all those kinds of things, then he will need to replat all those parcels together.
I think the city of Rome had a vision with the comprehensive master plan to have that all retail and to have the little shops downtown. I was just concerned about what that went commercial, what else could go commercial. It just opens up everything to be commercial, and we didn't envision that. So this is good. This is a good compromise.
All right, any further discussion? Not, I will entertain, excuse me, a motion to approve or disapprove.
I move to approve ordinance 2025-07 for the 0.560 acres of land within a portion of lot 1 and all of lots 2 through 5, block 15, original town of Rome, City of Rome, Wise County, Texas, located at 199 North Main Street, to be rezoned from R retail zoning and SF10 zoning to all retail zoning.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item C, ordinance 2025-08, specific use permit for 359 Denton Street, which is JTS Trucking.
Thank you, Mayor. This was also discussed by Mr. Cook in depth during the public hearing. We would entertain a motion from council to either approve or deny the request.
Is there any discussion?
I was a little confused on this one because I thought there was some verbiage that you said in there that we needed to have with the commercial zoning district added to it, but I didn't see anything like that in the ordinance language.
Councilmember, what you're requesting is the ordinance, to approve the ordinance that you can condition that would be based on, for the business owner and, the business name. And then, we want to make sure that it is, matching the same terminology as to what the state licensing is. And so we're asking to modify that from truck sales to semi-truck and semi-trailer sales. So semi-truck and semi-trailer sales.
Yeah, our ordinance oddly enough just allows two separate sections. One is truck sales, and then the other section is trailer rental. So we're gonna try and combine them into one to conform with what the state requires.
So, so we don't need to have the words commercial zoning district.
In the commercial zoning district, because that will then, it is in the commercial zoning district. And then what that will do is be reflected in the certificate of occupancy that the city will then reissue to the business. And so that certificate of occupancy then will help prove up to the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles exactly that he has legal authority to operate the business there.
Okay, I'm clear.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-08 for the issuance of a special use permit for semi-truck sales located at 359 Denton Street, Rome, Texas, with the conditions that this specific use permit be issued to business owner Marshall Crawford and business name Jordan Truck Sales of Texas LLC. Do I need to put semi-trailer sales also? Okay, so,
You do need to have rental.
oh my gosh.
Wait a second. Did you say rental? No.
The property owner would like to clarify.
What I need, it's needs to say semi-truck sales because that's one license. And then it needs to say semi-trailer sales because that's an additional license. It's not in a rental, but it's in sale. We have to have two licenses, and that's what's brought this to the attention.
Would you like to amend your motion?
I would like to amend my motion. I'm catching yours. I'd like to amend the motion to say specific use permits for semi-truck sales and semi-trailer sales
In the commercial use zone.
in the commercial use zone.
Well, we need to look at that for just a
I
second.
thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
We are
I-
definitely
I need
going
to
out with a
just-
bang.
I need to amend my-
Look, we're just the routine planning zoning.
No, we're the city council.
Steve, if you want to hear it, this might be a little bit, probably run a little smoother.
I think it's
I
good.
believe you're good. So at this time, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Motion carries. All right. Moving on to item D, we will consider zoning variance at 430 Old Mill. This is for the property that is the ordinance currently states it has to be, have 10 feet between the property and the property line, and we want the variance to allow it to be within 2 feet of the property line. Is that what the variance is?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is there any discussion? We've already kind of discussed this to death. So at this time, I'll take a motion to approve or deny.
I make a motion to approve a variance to section 25 dash, or dot C dot 4 dot E of the City of Rome zoning ordinance, I cannot talk, for allow encroachment into the rear setback by a commercial development to be located at 430 Old Mill Road, Rome, Texas, within the C commercial zoning district.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you very much. We made it. All right, moving to item E, we will consider the Surrey Edition final plat.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one that's already come before you all and through P and Z as a preliminary plat. If you have questions, Mr. Cook is here, or I can answer those for you, but this is taking a portion of our community and allowing it to replat into, I believe, 4 or 5 different sublots.
It'll be 5 total lots.
Yeah.
There is an existing structure on lot 1.
Yes, and so it will be an additional 4. One of the things that we will be bringing forward to you is these lots. 2 of the lots that they proposed are what are called flag lots. That is something that we would like to prohibit in the city. We do not currently have that prohibition, and so I will be working with Mr. Cook to draft some updates to your codes that would not allow those within the city limits. They're difficult to service. They are also difficult to reach if you have an emergency type response. So in the event that we can adjust that in the future, that's something that I would like to work with Mr. Cook and Mr. Atkins in order to get that updated in our code. But at this time, we don't have a prohibition. So they have come forward, they have met all the requirements, and we're happy to answer any questions. But as I mentioned, you've looked at the preliminary and that's been approved. And so this is the final,
Discussion?
This is just paperwork.
pretty much.
We don't have a choice.
You've already approved it once. There'd be no reason not to approve it again.
All right, if there's no discussion, does someone wish to make a motion?
I move to recommend approval of the final plat of 1.341 acres of lots 1 through 5, block 1, Surrey Edition, in the J.C. Tatum Survey, abstract number 817, City of Rome, Wise County, Texas, generally located at the corner of Hickory Street and Virginia Lane.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, motion carried. All right, item number F, amended plat for Blue Stem Phase 2.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a Scrivener error on behalf of P&B and RVR for the ranch. This has come before you before. We had a Scrivener error, and this is just adjusting a couple of lot lines, but it doesn't change anything dramatically within the development. So we recommend approval.
Is agenda item 10?
It is,
7F.
it should.
I think it's,
be 9.
yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna rework your packets for January. That will make this a whole lot easier for you. Yes.
Thank you. So it just doesn't say anything about Blue Stem, so that's why we're like, is this the right one? So that's it, no problem.
Or is there's no discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I want to make staff go on the record just once
Okay.
more. Has this amended plat application met all the requirements?
Yes, sir, it has. I apologize. Yes, it has. It has been reviewed by all the needed parties and it has been looked at by P and Z.
And you guys already know this, then you have no discretion but to approve it if it has met the requirements of our ordinances.
Thank you for bringing it up. I should have brought that. Anyway, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the second amended plat of 97.957 acres situated in the Smith County School Land Survey, abstract number 743, City of Rome, in its ETJ, Wise County, Texas.
All right, do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, motion carried. All right, last but not least, item G, ordinance 2025-10, the update to the fee schedule for commercial water-based rates.
Thank you, Mayor. This is something that we discussed at our meeting in November. You have an agenda commentary or agenda memo in your packet, as well as a ordinance that I worked with Mr. Atkins to develop that talks about how that would be implemented. The ordinance itself, which was emailed to you earlier today, once we finalized the incrementation schedule, was sent out via email. Mrs. King, I believe you have a copy of that in your hands now, but I worked with Carbon to make sure that we had equally divided out any increase in the commercial base rate into 8 different time periods. Each quarter it would change, and that is from 3/4 inch or 5/8 inch all the way up to 4 inch. We don't have any 6 or 8 inch within the community at this time. But for those that are existing customers, as I was directed, they will have 24 months of gradual increases once each quarter. And they will, in the chart that you have within your ordinance, it tells exactly how much it would go up each quarter. Those numbers are matched back to the total, the smaller chart at the top that talks about if anyone comes in January and wants to open a new business, they're going to pay the new rates that are commensurate with the meter size and not the smaller number that we had set it at. You'll recall our base rate for commercial was $44.82, which is not appropriate for a commercial entity from which the amount of water that they draw, their impact on the system, usage, et cetera. So we are adjusting this in preparation for the future. And I will tell you that much like Jesus, who says his phone was ringing off the wall for people wanting to know about that building, I've seen a very tremendous uptick in inquiries in the month of December for people wanting to open a business in Rome next year. So you will see, as planning and zoning and as council members, several more of those requests come forward. But this is just setting that baseline so that we right size what we're charging commercial, but you graciously agreed to allow the commercials that currently exist 2 years to fully implement, but new ones will be at the new rates, if that makes sense to you.
And these businesses you're notifying them, correct?
We will be sending each of them a letter directly to them. I will very likely have staff hand deliver those so that I make sure somebody in the business gets them with contact information, with the schedule, with the charts that explains that, as well as with an explanation as to council's deliberation and the reasoning behind this. They will also be given the opportunity, like for some of our larger customers, if they want to change out their meter size, they can do so. It will be at their expense, but I do believe if they're not going to need that big of a hookup, it would be beneficial to them to go ahead and size it to what they actually need and pay the appropriate rate versus overpaying for something that's too large. So yes, the letter will have all of that information. So I will have to get on that next week and then we will start delivering them.
So I'm trying to remember. So I don't see any language in here about whether or not it's for, watering your yard. What is the word? Irrigation versus. So this is just period.
Yeah, it's just across the board.
That's fine.
There's no grandfathering, there's no calling out of one business or another, which will make it a lot easier in 10 or 15 years when somebody else has to step in this role and they need to administer this system. They will understand clearly what council has done.
Okay, I see something on this rate size and stuff. It says new commercial base rates and existing commercial base rates as of January 1st, 2026. To leave all the fuzziness out of this, maybe it should say new commercial accounts and customer base rates. Because I see some gray interpretation of what is a new commercial and what's an existing. You know, that is something that could possibly get us stuck going on in the future. For example, if a business changes owners or.
An account versus.
Right. I know where you're going, but yes.
Where do you see this?
It's just on this ordinance that was printed today. I just downloaded it and went through it. And I see it as, the 250 deposit required. It's just the heading. at how it reads, new commercial base rates and then existing commercial base rates. And I think we should put in there new commercial accounts and customer base rates under both those. Just so that it's interpreted as what it is.
Marvin, I'm gonna let you weigh in
Yeah,
on that.
that makes sense. That's a good suggestion.
I will say,
So you mean, for example, if Dairy Queen has an account, they open another Dairy Queen, it's new,
Right,
and so therefore it would be a new account.
or if it changes hands and they have to get a new certificate of
Right.
occupancy with a new owner, then it's, in my
Yeah.
opinion, it would automatically go to the new rates.
Do we have any of this that the audience can see or what you're
No,
talking
ma'am,
about?
I'm sorry. It's in the packet.
I just want to let everybody remember, this has been a tough road to hoe to get to where we are today. We have to do this to keep our utility funds solvent for the future and to enable the city to continue to maintain and operate and improve our water system for the future. Because if we don't, we're gonna be we have no choice but to take this action. I applaud everybody's hard work on this. So, unless there is any further deliberation, is there someone like to make a motion to approve or to approve with the amended language?
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-10, setting a new commercial base rates based on meter size and allowing an implementation time of 24 months to gradually adjust base rates for commercial customers with the amended language.
Could you restate that for the record again, Mr. Finch?
about the,
The amended language.
yes. We'll change where it says new commercial base rates, we'll add new commercial accounts and customer base rates on both the new commercial base rates and the existing commercial base rates, existing commercial accounts and customer base rates essentially. And then the new commercial accounts and customers base rates, then word it like that.
All right, thank you. All right, do I have a second for this motion?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance passes unanimously. Thank you very much. That is the last item on our agenda. Thank you all we made it through. At this time, since Mr. Johnson's not here, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
All
that.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
Merry Christmas.
I.
There you go. Aye.
All right, thank you. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much. Merry Christmas.